Ramaphosa has warned against land invasions. It follows a land grab north of Johannesburg, which provoked clashes with police. The ruling African National Congress is seeking to change the constitution to expropriate land without compensation. Most of South Africa's land is still owned by the white minority. The land grab in Centurion has brought the debate to new heights, but President Ramaphosa says South Africans should not tolerate such lawlessness. He also says nobody has the right to invade land or violate another person's rights. Well, let's get you more now on that. I'm joined live from Johannesburg by CGTN's Angelo Coppola. Angelo, what's the latest on the land debate in South Africa?
Well, we're all waiting for that parliamentary process to start. You'll recall that MPs in Parliament voted to investigate changing a section of the Constitution which concerns property rights. That was several weeks ago. The challenge is that those property rights include any type of property, from physical land to intellectual property rights, I'm told. While that process unfolds, parties are looking to gain political capital from the uncertainty. The EFF want all land rights to vest in the state. The DA, which is the Democratic Alliance, says that land rights belong to individuals who hold title deeds to that land. With the need for land distribution being critical, they recognize that part of it. As for the ANC, well, they appeared united last year when the land issue was voted on in Parliament. They were against redistribution without compensation. Then at the elective conference in December, a resolution was passed where they went in the opposite direction. Redistribution would be happening with or without compensation. That's now ANC policy, along with a focus on food security. Karen?
And Angelo, the Premier of Gauteng province is saying the Centurion incident was organized. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, based on the footage that we've seen, it did appear as if it was coordinated. Witnesses also say that a large number of vehicles arrived with military precision, and at the same, there was an organized feel to it, especially when it came to staking those claims out on the actual land. And that happened almost immediately. No grouping is taking direct responsibility for the invasions, but the EFF has in the past used the motive land issue to drum up support, and that was as recently as Thursday last week. And it's probably no coincidence that Ramaphosa, that's President Ramaphosa, was in the area. He was there for an ANC voter registration drive. So there is a suspicion that this was a political move to test Ramaphosa's resolve to see if the authorities would eject the people from illegally occupying that land. And as you said, the president came out really strongly condemning any type of illegal activity, including this land invasion, reminding people that they would get arrested and the law would take its course. So he seems to have come out quite strongly against the land invasions, and it seems like he's actually won this round. Karen?
There are two arguments to the land debate. Can you briefly give us both sides?
Very briefly, there are actually three sides to this whole land debate. The EFF is pushing this argument that the land belongs to the state. The government should take ownership of all land and then they can redistribute it. That's nationalization in short, and that's the approach to mineral resources in the country too. They're saying that land and the mineral rights belong to the state and they can decide without compensation who to allocate it to. Section 25 of the Constitution says that the land has to have a claim attached to it from previous owners, and then it should be bought or sold, keeping in mind that there's a willing buyer, willing seller process that's involved there. So that's the approach that they're taking there. The ANC policy, as I've mentioned earlier, now it seems to favor land redistribution across all sectors by either compensation or no compensation. So the approach right now seems to be that'll be voted on in Parliament, but those are the three angles that we're looking at right now.
Okay, Angelo Coppola there in Johannesburg. Thank you for that update.